All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling a massive question for anyone in church leadership. How do you build a tech strategy that actually helps your mission? Without totally overwhelming your team. Let's get into it.
So many leaders are wrestling with this. I mean, it seems simple, but it's a really heavy question. You're surrounded by apps, platforms, software. It's just so easy to feel like you're always a step behind. So, what's the real answer? And here it is, right off the bat, the key insight. See, the goal isn't just to collect more and more tech. It's about being strategic, about picking the right tools for the season of ministry you're in with the right people ready to lead them.
This leads us to what is probably the single most important rule we're going to talk about today. Before you even think about adopting a new system, you have to ask, do we have the leadership, the clarity, and the ownership to keep this thing going? If that answer is no, you're honestly just signing up for burnout.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to apply that leadership-first principle to churches of all different sizes, small, medium, and large, and then we'll wrap it all up with the one big idea that should really guide every single tech decision you make.
First up, the small church. We're talking about congregations under 150 people. At this stage, the magic words are focus and sustainability. It's all about making life easier for your team, not harder with a bunch of complicated tech.
You can really see that philosophy at play right here. On one side, you've got simple, sustainable stuff, like an audio podcast or a basic website. And on the other side, all the things that just drain your resources and create headaches, like live streaming or a full-blown church management system. The goal here is a tech stack that's lean but effective. Think about it. An audio-only podcast for sermons, just one social media account like Instagram, and simple tools like group messaging and spreadsheets to keep your volunteers organized. Oh, and Google Workspace for nonprofits? It's an absolutely fantastic and free resource for email and docs. Okay, let's just pause on live streaming for a second. For a small church, the cost, the volunteer hours, and frankly, the risk of it not looking great, it almost always outweighs the benefits. It is so much better to do one thing, like that audio podcast, with real consistency and excellence.
This quote just sums up the whole strategy for a small church perfectly. Your volunteers are your most valuable resource, period. Don't burn them out with tech that promises the world but only delivers exhaustion. You gotta protect your people. Now, as a church grows, the strategy has to grow with it. For a medium-sized church, let's say between 150 and 750 people, the focus totally shifts. Now it's about building an intentional structure. Seriously, the choices you make here can set the course for the next 10 years of your ministry.
And probably the biggest decision you'll face in this phase is choosing a CHIMS. That stands for Church Management Information System. Basically, it's your central database for everything. Member records, volunteer teams, kids check-in, giving, you name it. This is the moment to pick one, and you really want to choose it carefully.
The steps here are all about logical progression. You might start a YouTube live stream, but only when you have the people to do it well. Maybe when you hit that 500 attendee mark. You're going to choose that long-term CMS. And you'll make sure your giving platform actually talks to it, to avoid endless hours of manual data entry. And your website? You'll improve it for clarity, not just pile on more pages.
But hey, notice what's still not on this list? A mobile app. The advice here is really clear. Even at this size, a custom app is usually just an unnecessary complication. It's a nice to have, not a need to have. So the recommendation is to just wait.
This quote, it really gets to the heart of why being intentional matters so much at this stage. Think about it. Every time you switch a major system, you create friction and frustration for your team. Making a thoughtful, long-term choice for your core systems builds trust and actually empowers your volunteers to lead well.
Okay, let's move on to our final stage, the large church. We're talking anywhere from 750 to 2,500 people. At this point, digital ministry isn't an experiment anymore. It's a core part of your operation. So the new focus is all about scaling your systems with really clear rules and accountability.
This strategic shift is so critical. In that medium stage, you were pouring the foundation. Now, in the large stage, you're scaling that foundation up and putting good governance in place to manage all the complexity that comes with growth.
The upgrades here are all about getting operational. Your live stream now has dedicated online hosts engaging people in the chat. You have dedicated teams for social media and video. You start giving different departments access to your CMIS, but with really clear rules. And your public website, it gets simpler for guests, while all that member-specific info moves to internal channels.
This really highlights the main tension for a large church. As you grow, every little inefficiency gets magnified. You can't just scale your reach. You have to scale your internal processes and your governance right along with it to support that growth.
So we've walked through all 3 stages. But how do you make decisions within each stage? Well, that brings us to our final and honestly most important principle, the one that really guides everything else.
Think of this chart as your decision-making filter for every tech choice you make. First, what's our mission? That always comes first. Second, do we have the leadership capacity to support it? That comes next. And only then, in that specific order, do you get to the third question. What's the right tool? The tool always serves the mission and the leaders, never the other way around.
This is such a powerful reminder, isn't it? We can get so obsessed with the latest software or the newest platform, but at the end of the day, technology is just a tool. Its only job is to help serve people, make your mission clearer, and support the real work of ministry. Ultimately, the wisest churches aren't the ones who are fastest to adopt new tech. They're the most discerning. They resist the hype, they choose their tools with incredible care, and they lead with real intention. So we'll leave you with this one crucial question to take back to your team. Look at every system, every platform, every piece of software you use, and ask yourselves, is this tool serving our mission, or have we started to bend our mission to serve this tool? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.